Sun is out here in Abu Dhabi, shining over the Yas Marina circuit as we get ready for our silver race. On the way, essentially a time trial for each team, vying to set the fastest lap they can. Slightly altered track here as well. After the back straight, we'll do a double left before a final right-hander that leads us back onto that start-finish straight. Once again, teams from universities, research institutes, tech companies, waited with bated breath. Team FR4 there, the French racing team, waiting, anticipation building. Brand new team for season 2 of A2RL, and this is their machine called Juliet, running with the number 4, spearheaded by team principal Massimiliano Balestri, and a team made up of a network of specialist mobility engineers, new to A2RL, as I say, with a mantra of technology with character as it heads through the final corner now. Decent first lap from Juliet. Again, we are seeing a huge amount of impressive technology being stressed to its absolute limit, down from 200 kilometers an hour to 80 as we head through the left-hander of turn 1. Motorsport allowing us to create these extreme conditions, high speeds, complex corners, that race-to-road approach, meaning technology proven here can later improve things like safety and performance in everyday autonomous vehicles, with all the teams using the same physical car. So competition really focusing entirely on autonomous software, not on chassis or engine development. Going quicker on the second lap through that first sector, up through the gears, you can see and get a close look there at how this car works. This based on a Japanese Super Formula SF23 chassis, one of the fastest single-seater race cars in the world. 7 cameras, 3 radars, 3 lidars, 2 inertial measurement units as well, all placed around the car, particularly in that stack, the heart of the car, where you might expect to see a driver normally. No, that is the computer system that powers this car. Round the final corner once again for Team FR4, the French racing team. Fastest in the first 2 sectors as it crosses the line. And we'll hope that their efforts prove fruitful. And there is team principal Massimiliano Balestri with the rest of the FR4 team just sat in the garage. Once they hit go, they can do no more but watch their car head around the track. We'll go for another run at it and see if we can shave off another few tenths. We can. 3.5 tenths up through sector 1. Once again, onto the brakes through the left-hander. A few upgrades for the cars in this second season of A2RL, along with the additional systems like the global navigation, satellite system antennas, and 5th generation communication antennas for positioning and data transfer. And you can see there exactly what the team were able to look at based in the garage. Onto the brakes, careful not to lock up any of the tyres, something we saw as quite a challenge for a lot of our teams last year. But so far neat and tidy, and crucially improving with every single lap of this Yas Marina circuit. Across the line then, finds almost 6 tenths of a second, with the best lap time then of a 1:15.631 for Team FR4, and they're happy with that one. Smiles all round from Massimiliano and the rest of the team, who worked so hard to get to this stage of the game. It's not just an overnight process. This has taken months and years in the making. But we move on to our next contender. This is TGM GP with their car Sakura, the Japanese-based team. And you can just see there exactly how far the team are going to make sure they stay on top of everything they can. Virtual reality headsets in the making, and highlighting just how much A2RL is pushing, not only with technology on the track but off it as well. You can see there the data systems that those in the garage can have a look at. Headed up by team principal Kazuhiro Ikeda as the pink and black TGM Grand Prix car makes its way out onto the circuit. This is a team actually founded back in 2023 by Service Japan, aiming to create opportunities for youth to thrive in the racing world and support their growth. And that's a mantra that is echoed across the A2RL ecosystem, and in particular with TGM, 3 core engineers coming from service, strong backgrounds in motorsport, and engineers that specialize in things like robotics and AI tech. You can see there in the top left just an example, that virtual reality headset, allowing him to see exactly the car's movements with that onboard camera system, supported and supporting university students. It allows a fresh perspective and ideas to shine through with the beautiful cherry blossom inspired livery on board Sakura, with each team having their own personality, and that really is quite infectious and proves quite demanding when it comes to the code. A lot of teams find their difference with the way they approach code. Some are a little bit more aggressive, others a little bit more reserved. And here, well, with Sakura, their innovation, personal growth and economic progress are all filled and fueled by their outright drive to compete. So first lap time, 2.8 seconds adrift of FR4, but constantly improving here as the sun slowly starts to set in the background, and with another lap around they feed back into the pits and find a huge chunk of time with a 1:04.450. It's a really strong lap time from TGM. That puts them right at the top with just 2 teams on the board so far as they head back into the pit lane. Again, this is another factor that they've had to get to grips with, being able to operate a car coming into the pit lane, slowing down to pit limiter speed, and then coming to a halt. And they're happy with that one. Round of applause from TGM. Team principal Kazuhiro Ikeda and the rest of the team really actually quite emotional with that one. There's a lot of hard work that goes into this. It's AI on track, but there is so much humanity that goes into the final product, and we're not there yet either. We're all about searching for improvements in this technology and how it can help our everyday lives. Testing it to the absolute extremes through motorsports.
ほぼ4秒台で多分3ポイント取れたと思います。このままあとは待つだけです。
Feeding back straight away to the rest of the team. Round of applause from the A2RL team as well that supports all of our entries. And again, so much data learned just from one lap. The stack processes up to 500 gigabytes of data per lap. That's a huge amount of learning that is done from the car after just a few corners, carrying huge amounts of speed, over 200 kilometers an hour before it slams onto the brakes. But the benchmark then, lap time to beat from TGM, a 1:04.450. But still, 3 more teams to come in this silver race. Next up, making their way out of the pit lane, the Fly Eagle team with Fei Ying as their AI racer. This is a joint effort between Abu Dhabi and Beijing. First lap across the board, just 0.6 adrift, already quicker than the French racing team. And with time to find, this is a good start for this entry, which is a collaboration between the Beijing Institute of Technology and the Khalifa University. They've won track records in other unmanned extreme challenges too. They've got good pedigree here with a 5-group structure that is split into perception, localization, planning, control, and prediction. And they are all about speed and precision, like an eagle in flight. Getting up to speeds now of over 200 kilometers an hour. The team able to monitor exactly the temperature as well of the front tires, the rear brakes. Almost 250 kilometers an hour before we get to the left-hander of turn 6. Quick out the box was Fei Ying, headed up by team principal instructor Jin Ren. Round the final corner and across the line Finds a bit of time in that final sector. Still over half a second, just over half a second back from TGM. You can hear some of the revving there going on as well as the Code programming itself constantly around this track. Smoother and stronger gear shifts, shorter gear ratios are improved as amongst a raft of 2025 upgrades for this car. The EA25 new fuel line for improved safety, new alternator for more stable electric power, redesigned vibration damping for the sensor ring as well, and crucially for teams who are waiting with bated breath back in the garage, we have a new high-speed camera link, improved global navigation satellite system hardware, improved 5th generation antennas and an updated wiring loom as well, along with added emergency braking improvements and secondary safety sensors. So a lot of upgrades heading into season 2 of A2RL. Not finding a huge amount of time though as Fei Ying on this final lap, and we'll have to settle for second at this point in time. Half a second adrift of TGM, but it's a very strong lap time, a 1:05.037. And a round of applause once again for all the men and women a part of this team, pushing it forward. Next up, we will have Rapson with Rapson AI, the number 14 green, black and white car. Now this is a new entrant. They were formerly known as Humda Lab. We would have seen them last season, but now running as an independent with the energy from Budapest's rising startup culture really powering this team forward with hacker-grade algorithms, race-grade engineering. Again, all about that precision, but being safe and disciplined too. 2.7 seconds adrift through the first sector for Rapson AI. Fascinating to see the different onboard looks and gets a real close-up of the lines that they're taking, keeps it nice and steady as it then just starts to teeter over to the right-hand side, but the track actually cuts back in here as we head into the braking zone, and Rapson AI has been coded for that, finds a bit of time in the middle sector, onto the brakes, decent corner entry. This is where it's tricky though, it's a tight left-hander, switch over to the left, lining it up ready for the final right-hander and across the line, finds a bit of time personally, stays third at the moment, quicker than FR4, which has fallen now to 4th place, and they're happy with that one. Team principal Armin Bagar heading up this outfit, and now back into the pit lane. A best lap time of a 1:11.078. Now, Code 19 ready in the pit lane to take to the time trial. Headed up by Lawrence Walter. Maverick AI, their autonomous entry. This is an early A2RL entrant, actually. The first private team that was announced. Founded by 2 US military veterans who've got such a passion for what A2RL is doing here, as they're looking to develop transformative technologies that accelerate the future of AI-driven transportation, with their mantra being made up of a bold spirit, competitive drive, fierce, energetic and unrelenting. And it's a good personal best in the first sector for Maverick AI as he now heads down the back straight. And that really encapsulates what we're trying to do here. It's not about trying to find driverless forms of racing. It's about using this technology and finding ways to make our everyday lives easier, but also to create more entertainment in certain elements of racing, to power things on from race to road. The trickle-down effect, we see autonomous taxis becoming more and more prevalent in the real world. Crossing the line, 3.7 seconds adrift, puts it up into the top 3 for Code 19 Racing. Round of applause for TGM, because Code 19 won't be able to get another go, and there are your winners. A strong team effort from TGM GP and their AI Sakura. The team from Tokyo winning out here in the silver race with a $2.25 million prize pot across the event available. So TGM receiving a huge chunk of that for their hard work. Smiles all round. Not surprising, but good efforts from our 6 teams in the silver race. A huge amount of learning gained. AI technology being pushed to its absolute brink. And if you think we're getting close to human times now, if not beating them at times, just wait for another 6 months, another 12 months to where we will be. And some of the brightest minds that you can see here from institutes and universities around the world at the forefront of this, from everyone from CEOs to university graduates. A2RL really encapsulating how far autonomous technology can be pushed through the medium of racing. Universities, research institutes, technology companies, a global representation working hard on their artificial systems that take on their own personalities and race the closest thing to a Formula One car you can find on the planet. Huge speeds, huge drama, the tension is high, the technology is cutting edge. But there is a constant push for more. And how this trickles down into the everyday world, into our roads, into our buses, into our transport system in general, but further than that too, our healthcare, our transport in the skies above us. This isn't just about racing around a track. It is so much more than that. And it means so much to the people spearheading this technology. A2RL giving them that platform to be able to do so. America, Japan, Hungary, China, the United Arab Emirates, France, all represented in this silver race, but it really is a global sport with teams from further afield taking part across season 2 of A2RL, but winning out in the silver race is our team from Japan, TGM Grand Prix, and their AI Sakura.